Welcome back. We will now move to our second module, and in this module we will start discussing about different polymerization processes. And in the first module we will talk about step growth polymerization and the polymers which are synthesized by step growth polymerization are sometimes also called step growth polymers or just simply step polymers. So, in this case we will give you few example of step growth polymers by various reaction and then go on to do theoretical treatment about linear step polymerization. We will discuss about other things as well, as we will discuss that when we go to that particular topic. Let us discuss step growth polymerization or step growth polymers. The polymers which are synthesized using step growth polymerization are also called step growth polymers, and sometimes they are just called step polymerization or step polymers. Just to give you briefly a historical perspective, the step polymers were first synthesized by Carothers and his group at DuPont during 1920s and 1930s. And initial work of Carothers was limited to aliphatic polyesters, which did not possess high melting point and other properties which required for commercial applications. They also did synthesize aromatic polyesters of isothalic acid and ethylene glycol, but that also did not have required properties for commercial application. Hence, they moved DuPont and Carothers team at DuPont actually moved to synthesize polyamides, which actually had a high melting point and robust mechanical properties for application. And the first useful synthetic polyamide was nylon 6,6, which actually begin the polymer age in that time. Later work by Winfield and Dickson, when they use instead of isothalic acid they use terephthalic acid, and as a diacid moiety they could actually synthesize PET, polyethylene terephthalate polyester, which become commercially viable. Which are the reactions are typically used for step growth polymers? The organic reactions which need to proceed almost like quantitative fashion, actually 99% plus conversion yield has to be there in organic reaction to produce high molecular weight linear polymers. And most polymers, step polymerization involve reactions which actually produce link that content heteroatom like oxygen, and that is the reason these polymers which are synthesized by step growth polymerization are grouped as general class that we discussed during nomenclature like polyester, polycarbonate, polyamides and so on. There are many step polymers which has this carbonyl group. Now, carbonyl group, because of the delta positive charge in carbon, they are prone to nucleophilic attack, and which are very much useful for synthesizing commercially important families of polymer materials like polyesters, polyamide, polyimides, polyurethane, polycarbonates and so on. And some nucleophilic and electrophilic substitution reactions like also used for synthesis of step polymers like polyhydrogen ethers, aromatic polyketones, polyarylates, polyphenylene sulfides, polysulfones, polysiloxanes, etc. Some example of polymers and step step growth polymer processes, general class. So, this is example of polyester which we take a diacid and dialcohol, and this is the ester group in the polymer. Similarly, we can make polyester using acid halides reacting with dialcohol. Similarly, polyamides can be synthesized using diacids and diamines or diacid halides and diamines. In this case, the polymer actually contain amide bonds in the backbone, or it can be synthesized by a monomers having amino acid type monomer, where one side we have amino group and other side we have acid group. They can self condense with each other and make a polycondensation product or step growth polymers, polyamides. We can also use this step growth polymerization for making high engineering or high performance polymer, like one shown here, polycarbonate, synthesizing of bisphenol A with phosgene, or for example, we can also synthesize polyether sulfone. Some organic coupling reaction can be also used to synthesize this trans poly 1,4-phenylene. Some of the examples are shown here, like Wittig coupling, Heck coupling, McMurray coupling, and these are standard organic reactions which are utilized in this polymerization process to make polymer products. This is the advantage in case of polymer scientists or polymer chemists. They can use the nice organic reactions and then can utilize to make new polymer molecules. Other examples like polysiloxanes, which contain silicon oxygen silicon bonds in the backbone, and we further example like polyurethane and polyureas. Polyurethanes are synthesized by isocyanate, reacting isocyanate with alcohol groups like diisocyanate and dialcohol. Some of the diisocyanates example are shown here, and some of the dialcohols are shown here. So, they react each other to forming urethane linkage. This is the urethane linkage in the polymer. So, they make synthesize polyurethanes. Polyureas can be synthesized by reacting these diisocyanates with diamines, forming urea linkage in the backbone. Now, let us move about theoretical treatment of linear step polymerization. Before that, we need to define what is functionality of monomers, which is typically expressed as F. The functionality of monomers or F is defined as number of covalent bonds that a monomer or molecule or monomer unit in a macromolecule can form. So, it is basically, let us give you example. Say it is a terephthalic acid. Now, it can form two bonds, this one this side and one this side, say for example, reacting with the alcohol group or a amine group. So, the functionality is 2 because it can form two covalent bonds, two sides. Similarly, this dialcohol can react with two sides and form two covalent bonds. So, this functionality is also 2. Glycerol, there are 3 hydroxy groups, so which can react with 3 acid group. So, form 3 covalent bonds. So, F is 3, and this example pentriitritol, where we have 4 hydroxy groups. So, it can actually make 4 bonds with say 4 acid groups. So, in this case F is 4. Few things about functionality of monomers. There is no monofunctional monomers, because if a monomer is only capable of making one covalent bond, obviously it cannot participate in polymerization reaction. So, there is no monofunctional monomers which are useful in making polymers. If F is 2, all the monomers during a polymerization reaction is, if F is 2, then we get a linear chain macromolecule, or in some cases we can get a macrocycle by reacting with 2 ends of a long polymer chain. And if F is greater than 2, that means we have at least 3 or 4 or even more like functional groups in a monomer, then it can lead to branching of in macromolecule, and in some cases it can go up to forming network and gel. Now, we sometimes deliberately or not deliberately as impurity, these monofunctional compounds may present in the polymerization medium. In that case, when they react, they actually end the chain. so no further reaction possible in that particular chain. So, we call this as chain stopper. So, these are not monomers, but sometimes they are used deliberately to control the molecular weight, but sometimes if they are present unwantedly as impurity, then the polymerization can become more less useful because of presence of this chain stopper. Just to conclude or just summarize or complete the story about functionality, if we have a monomer like styrene, then it can actually form 2 bonds both sides. So, F is 2, and if you have a divinyl benzene, then it can actually form 4 bonds to this side, to this side. So, F is 4. Now, in case of linear, we will now move to and restrict to first discussion on linear step polymerization, which means we are talking about the polymerization process where F is 2 for the monomers. Now, F as 2 or functionality 2 can be obtained by a single monomer, where a monomer like hydroxycarboxylic acid, where we have two functional groups in a particular monomer, and it can form a polymer through self condensation. So, we call this as AB type monomer, or we can have 2 monomers AA type and BB type, where we have a particular monomer having 2 same functional groups and the other monomer having 2 different functional groups, which the functional groups can react with each other. Now, if we have this AB type monomer, then the ratio of the functional groups is always 1, because each functional group has one of each monomer molecule has one of A functional groups and other has the B functional group. So, their ratio will be always 1:1. But in this particular case, AA and BB type case, if we have same number of monomers or same molar ratio of these 2 monomers, then we have the ratio of the functional groups as 1:1. Now, we can also alter the molar ratio of the functional groups by altering the molar ratio of monomer in this particular case, which is not possible in this particular case, where the molar ratio of the functional group is always 1:1. The importance of molar ratio of the functional groups will be discussed in a minute when we discuss the molecular weight, how to calculate the molecular weight from the linear step polymerization. We also define one term, conversion, which we discussed earlier. That conversion is, in case of linear in the step polymerization, is the fraction of functional groups reacted. So, if you have 100 functional groups and 90 of them are reacted, then functional conversion is actually 90 by 100, or it is 0.9 or 90%. Now, let us give a example pictorically. So, if I have say AB type monomers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 monomers, so which have 12 functional groups, and at the beginning there is no reaction happened. So, the number of monomers reacted or number of functional groups reacted is 0 by the total functional groups, which is so conversion is 0, and number of molecules present at this moment n is 6, and degree of polymerization in this case is 1, because there is only one structural unit in each molecule. If these two interact or couple with each other, then we now have 5 molecules, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 molecules, and 2 of the functional groups are now reacted. So, P is 2 by 12, which leads to this number. So, my total number of presence is 5, and degree of polymerization, which is the average degree of polymerization, is in this case degree of polymerization is 2. So, 2 into 1 such molecule plus 1 into 4 such molecules, and this is the total number of molecules. So, which gives 1.2, or total number of initial molecule divided by total number of present molecule. number of present molecule given by n, and n0 is the number of molecules present at the beginning of the reaction. When these two also react, now we get 4 molecules. So, number of functional groups reacted is 4, 4 divided by 12 is, so P is 4 divided by 12, 0.33, and we get degree of polymerization, total number of molecules present initially divided by total number of molecules present now, which is 6 by 4, which is 1.5. Similarly, if we can go and doing this when all the molecules reacted, we have 10 functional groups reacted. So, the fraction conversion is 0.83 and degree of polymerization is 6, because 6 molecule has joined in this case to make a polymer or to make a molecule. We move to a little larger number. So, if you have say 100 of these molecules, so at the beginning we have P is 0 by, so 100 molecules mean we have 200 functional groups. So, 0 by 200 degree of polymerization is 1. Now, if just hypothetically we think that each 2 of the such molecules reacted forming dimers, then now we have 50 molecules, 100 functional groups has reacted. So, conversion is 0.5 and average degree of polymerization is 2. Similarly, now if we consider all these molecules have reacted, dimers has reacted to mean tetramer. Now, we have 25 such molecules, 150 functional groups have reacted. So, we get 0.75 as a conversion and degree of polymerization as 4. Similarly, if say out of 25, 12 molecules react with each other, I mean 25 molecules react with each other forming 12 molecules, plus I have one remaining, which will give us that 174 functional groups has reacted out of 200, which means the conversion value is 0.87 and degree of polymerization is total initial molecule is 100. Now, we have 13 molecules. So, degree of polymerization is 7.7. Similarly, if you just proceed, we get when every molecules is reacted with each other, we get conversion is basically 109, two unreacted functional groups is remaining. So, basically 198 functional groups reacted. So, P is 0.99 and the average the structure number of structure in the this molecule is 100. So, degree of polymerization is 100. So, please note that degree of polymerization is given by N0, which is the number of molecules at the beginning divided by number of molecules N at the present time, and P is the fraction of molecules, fraction of functional groups which reacted. So, if we plot this is your degree of polymerization x n. So, if I plot degree of x n versus P conversion, then the graph will look like this, as we have seen in the last also, that unless we go to extremely high conversion, our molecular weight or degree of polymerization is not high. For example, in the last example, if we go back and see that even when the conversion is 93% or 93, the degree of polymerization was 14.3. So, in this case, to get a high degree of polymerization, we must go to a very high conversion. In real case, the sample will have all types of chain length. So, we will have this type of scenario. So, which means again that we will have a so basically to get a high molecular weight or high degree of polymerization, this is the molecular weight or degree of polymerization, this is conversion, we need to have a very high, almost like quantitative conversion of functional groups. So, this is a very important point, that to make high molecular weight polymers in a step growth polymerization, we need to push the reaction to a very high value of conversion. Now, how to quantify this? What is the relationship between degree of polymerization and conversion? And first we will take the simplest case where we take AB monomer, where the molar ratio of A group and B group is always 1:1, or a equimolar mixture of A and BB molecules, which will ensure that molar ratio of A functional group and B functional group is given by B is equals to 1. Now, in that case we know that Xn P is given by the number of fractional group reacted. So, N reacted divided by initial number of molecules present. So, which means N 0 initial molecule and the present number of molecules. So, N is the number of molecules present now, which means N 0 minus N is the functional groups which has reacted. Each molecule will have 2 functional groups. So, basically 2 cancels out each other when we talk about conversion. So, we can write 1 minus N by N 0. So, we write N by N 0 at 1 minus P. Now, what is X n? We know X n is N 0 by N, which means 1 over 1 minus P. So, this is the expression which we get for number average degrees of polymerization, which is given by 1 over 1 by P. Remember, this is applicable for AB type monomer or a equimolar mixture of A and BB, and once we know the degree of polymerization, then we can also know Mn from M average of 2 structural units plus M of N group, and because sometimes N group is very low compared to the total molecular weight, it can be ignored. We can give a example and quickly solve this to show the example. So, this is X n, the average degree of polymerization is given by 1 by 1 minus P, where P is the conversion, and this is called Carothers equation developed by Carothers, and the molecular weight M n is divided by given by M naught, which is the average of the molecular weight of structural unit into the degree of polymerization plus the molecular weight of the N group. So, M naught 1 minus P plus M molecular weight of the N group. Let us give an example. We need to find out the Mn value of the polymer formed by reaction of 1:1 mole by mole of adipic acid and ethylene glycol. So, we need to find out Mn. Now, Mn we know Xn by M average of the structural units plus M of the N groups. Now, the polymer is reaction of adipic acid and ethylene glycol. So, if I write the structure of the 2 monomer, this is adipic acid plus ethylene glycol and the polymer structure would be the molecular weight of this repeat unit is given by 172. So, M average, which is the average of the structural unit, would be given by 172 by 2 86 So, what will be my molecular weight xn? Xn is given by 1 over 1 minus p, p is 99% or 1 by 1 over 0.99. So, n is 100. So, my Mn would be given by 100 into 86 plus molecular weight of the n groups. N groups are basically OH and H. So, basically water 18. So, 8600 plus 18, 8618. Now, in most cases this molecular weight of the n groups are ignored. So, we generally write this is generally ignored in most cases. So, this is the example. Now, we will go to the next case where we have one of the molecules are present in excess. Now, as we have seen in the last example that we can control the polymerization to control the molecular weight, like if we control the p value, then we can control the molecular weight, but one problem is there, controlling the molecular weight by using just value of p, that at the end we get the polymer having the functional group present in the polymer. Now, if you use that polymer in product or during further processing, what happens, this the free functional groups which are present at the chain end, they can actually participate into further reaction, and as a result there will be a instability in the molecular weight of the polymers. So, we should have a strategy where we can control the polymer molecular weight without having the functional groups present at the end of the polymers, and one such strategy is by controlling the stoichiometry of two monomers. For example, if I take in a polyamide formation, if we take excess amine, diamine, then we are likely to get amine groups at the end, and if we have only amine groups at the end, no free carboxylic groups, then there is no further reaction possible between them, and so the molecular weight will be stabilized. Similarly, if we have a excess acid, then we are likely to get acid groups at the end without amine groups, and so the polymer molecular weight would be stabilized. Now, I am not going to derive this expression. Now, the simplest case that where we have A and B, two types of monomers, A and B functionality, and where BB is excess, in that case the average degree of polymerization is given by 1 plus R plus divided by 1 plus R. I am not going to derive this expression, just writing this expression. This is not simple to derive. You can refer any textbook to find out this derivation. Degree of polymerization, average degree of polymerization is given by 1 plus R minus 2 Rp, where R is the ratio of the functional groups present in such a way that it is always less than 1. So, the monomer or the functional groups which is present in excess, that will be in denominator. So, in this particular case R would be given by the number of functional groups of A divided by number of functional groups of B, because we are talking about B in excess. So, R is always less than equals to 1. When they are present in the same number, then it is equals to 1, and when B is larger, this is always it is less than 1. We will there is another way to, I had planned to do this example, and I do not know time permits or not, but I will move to next slide, where I will give you another strategy by which we can basically control the molecular weight, which is by adding a chain stopper. For example, in the reaction between diamine and diacid, if we add a monofunctional acid, then we get the polymer chains with ended with these monofunctional groups, and we actually can use same formula where redefining the value of R little bit like this, where Na by Nb plus 2 Nb dash, where Nb dash is the number of molecules of the monofunctional groups which are added. And this is applicable for the simplest case where we have AB type of monomer or equivalent mixture of AB and BB, plus we have a small amount of monofunctional reactant, and which we number of which we are telling as NB dash. So, we use the same equation to finding out the average degree of polymerization, but because here we modify the R expression for R as Na divided by Nb plus 2 Nb dash. Na equals to Nb because we have taken equimolar mixture of A and Bb, or we have taken AB type monomer, and Nb dash is the number of monomers for this number of molecules of this monofunctional reactant. I will try to solve a couple of numerical problems in the next class to give a example of how this is used for controlling the molecular weight, and I will continue for further discussion on step growth polymerization in the next lecture.